Welcome to the Discovery Doc podcast, where we advocate for optimal wellness and reducing everyday toxic loads, no matter where life takes you. I'm Dr. Cece, doctor in nursing practice, self-proclaimed toxin tamer, and a crunchy mama.
I'm Anna Kate, a medical mystery overachiever and your discovery liaison. Join us on this exciting journey as we explore the world of holistic health, cutting-edge research, and practical solutions for a healthier life. Together, we'll navigate through the complexities of wellness, sharing valuable insights and expert advice.
Tune in to the Discovery Doc podcast. Get ready to be inspired, empowered, and discover a whole new way of looking at your health.
Welcome back to the Discovery Doc podcast. I'm here with your host,
Dr. Cece, functional medicine nurse practitioner, self-proclaimed toxin tamer, and crunchy mama. And this chick over here.
I'm Anna Kate, your medical mystery overachiever and discovery liaison. And we are back with Savanna, and she's got a special guest on screen with her again that she just made a human being, y'all. Like, this is incredible. I mean, in the span of the last episode, and now just a little chunk of monk. I love those cheeks. I love it. So if you're not watching this, or just listening to us on podcast, go over to YouTube and check out this beautiful piece of Jesus right
just
here.
A ham. Literally a ham. So if you guys missed it, be sure to check out our previous episode. We've been talking to Savanna about all things just health and wellness and fitness related in terms of prenatal and pregnancy and postpartum. Savanna is a women's personal trainer who specializes in pre and postnatal optimization. Did I just make up a word?
That's a word. Optimization
is a word.
It's a thing.
And she does so by empowering women to just sustain, what's manageable for them in whatever stage of life that they are in. So we're super excited to have you back to continue our conversation.
Me too.
I kind of want to go from here is just women's health in general, with a huge aspect is sustaining a health journey or a fitness journey. And I know so many women, I'm guilty of this myself, where you start up again after a lull and then you get overworked and overtired. And so you just quit and stop. So talk to us about whether you are a CEO or a busy mom with all these kids, or you travel a lot, or whatever it is in your life. What are your recommendations for sustaining a fitness journey?
I love that. Yeah, I think the number one, when I send a questionnaire to new clients and, they fill out all this information about them, two of the most important questions I think that I ask, it's not their goals, because most likely their goals are lose 10 to 15 pounds, tone, like it's the same answer every time. But I also ask, like, what is the biggest thing holding you back? Like, what are the struggles you face? Like, why have you not gotten to this goal? Or have you before? And how did you get back to where you are now? So these are all really important questions, I think, because maybe they have achieved the goal. Maybe they've achieved their, fitness goal like 10 times, but for some reason they fall off, right? Something in their life keeps them from maintaining that. And that's when I like to dive a little bit deeper, because I see this over and over again. Fall off the wagon, I think, is like the most common term I hear. And I always just, internally, not to their face, but I'll roll my eyes a little bit, because I'm like, that's what always happens to people. I totally get it, especially if you are a CEO, a mom. Like, literally yesterday, all I wanted to do was a leg day. Like, that's all I wanted, and it did not happen. And I could have, maybe taken the kids in with me, because we're so fortunate to have a home gym, but it didn't work out. There were other, obligations that took over. But guess what? I'm going to try really hard to do it today. I actually woke up really early this morning so I could get in a 2-mile run. Like, that was my goal for today. Just get the run in. If it means I have to get up earlier than the babies, I'm going to get up earlier than the babies. Even though he woke up multiple times last night and I was exhausted, I still did it because I made that commitment to myself. So I think it comes down to getting real with yourself, getting clear about your expectations of yourself, and being realistic with, like, okay, what can I even fit in? Another thing I really like to do, especially with my online clients, if I'm doing coaching clients online, because I'm not seeing them in person. You know, we're like, I know their schedule. I know they're going to come see me Monday, Wednesday, Friday if it's an in-person client. Online, I'm asking them, what's your schedule? Like, what is, like, tell me your day in the life, from what time do you wake up, what time do you eat breakfast, what time do you, you know, have to nurse your kid, whatever it is, what time do you go to work? Because then we can kind of find those little pockets, right? Those little pockets of time where maybe you're like, oh, what do I even do from 11 to 11:30? Oh, I scroll, you know, I'm doomsday scrolling on the internet, or, you know, whatever it is, or I'm sitting on the toilet for just like a little too long on my phone, texting, you know, people back, like whatever it is, like you can find those little pockets. I can too. I'm guilty of it all the time too, with, you know, other or priorities of mine that I kind of, you know, push to the side. But there is a way. So whatever that is, we kind of like try to investigate that together. If it's 10 minutes, I'm serious. That still counts. People kind of roll their eyes at that. They're like, that's not going to do anything. Yes, it is, especially if it's like, you know, spaced out throughout the day. 10 minutes when you wake up, well, yeah, baby's crying, okay, fine, go nurse the baby, then you gotta, you know, make your toddler breakfast. Like, you know, I literally lived through this morning. But okay, what happens when you put the kids down for a nap? Well, I have all this work to do. Okay, before you start diving on your work, if you do 10 minutes of another, you know, whatever it is, walk around the block if someone else is home, or, you know, 10 minutes of a yoga session, whatever it is, that's going to get your brain like more stimulated too, so that you're more productive in your work. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, make that a priority in your day, even if it's carved out throughout the day. Another thing I think is really important is finding a way to make it sustainable, right? And that is so hard for people because we just love a good 30-day challenge. Like, right? We love like, oh, I'm gonna get, you know, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds in 30 days. That's what they promised me. I'm gonna get a big butt in 2 months. You're not. I wish I could get a big butt in 2 months, but it's not possible. So, you know, truly, people hate to hear the unsexy answer of it's gonna take years of dedication to look like your favorite, you know, fitness influencer. Like, it really is. If it's an 18-year-old influencer that, what'd you say?
It took that your favorite influencer, if you want to build their shoulders or their abs or their legs, it took them years to get there. So it's going to take you the same,
Right.
and you have to have that discipline
That's exactly
on both sides.
But it's hard because people are just seeing the end result. Like, they didn't see the 10 years previously that went into that. So then they see this present result and they're like, ooh, I want that. And our society is so accustomed
Instantaneous
to instant gratification that then they think, oh, a month of hard work and I will see all these insane, immaculate results. And it's just not real life.
And it's not motivating to them. And that's the other thing I hear is like, oh, I lost motivation. Okay, but I'm sorry, it's not going to stay. You have to find another way to stay, you know, disciplined. Motivation is going to come and go. And I feel, oh, did you hear me? Do you hear the baby?
Yeah.
They're kind of wholesome. Bless you. But, you know, I think you can always find a way to stay motivated if you want. Like, I'm always thinking about my health. To me, that's my biggest thing. And I'm always thinking about like the future and being like a fit grandma. Like, that's all I want, right? To like be able to run 5Ks with my grandchildren. So, you know, I can easily find ways to stay motivated, but it's also my passion. So I totally have sympathy or empathy, whatever the word is. You know, right now I'm postpartum and my brain doesn't work, but I have both really for the people that they don't like to work out. They hate it, right? Or they don't like to eat well. Like, it's just, they don't, you know, they like mac and cheese all day. So I totally understand. And I actually, you know, was that way 15 years ago. It took a lot to get me to be where I am now. So I think finding other ways, whether that's like, okay, your spouse or your best friend, like, they're going to help hold you accountable. I find so much success with people that work out with a friend or a partner, right? Even if they're not doing the same thing, but they both have to show up at the same time, which we just kind of talked about, like with y'all's podcast. I really think making that point to like have someone else hold you accountable. And it's not, to me, it's not effective if someone's texting me like, did you work out today? Like, that's not it. I don't want to waste someone's time. Right. And if they carved out that hour and they set up the babysitter so that they can meet me at the gym, like, okay, that's important. And I respect that.
To your point, so this happened to me because I'm going to use the term because it happened. I totally fell off the bandwagon right before I got pregnant with this one. And it's just like, I own my own business and I run the Discovery Doc and I have 3 kids at home. And to me, it's weird because fitness has always been a huge part of my life. I mean, I was an athlete. And then up until this year, it's like it really took a back burner and I was okay with it. Whereas previously, I've never been okay with it. I'm like, that's weird. Like, my desire for it has changed now. But when I got pregnant, I was like, okay, the first trimester was just, wash because I was not doing anything. But I know my body and how my body feels much better when I am moving. And so one of my best friends, she is a personal trainer also. She's amazing. I trust her with my life. And I was like, listen, I am not going to do anything unless you tell me to do it. Like, I'm going to be very honest. If you spent the time, because I value your friendship and you as a human, if you spend the time to write me a plan that I can do that can help me just sustain a little amount of physical activity, whatever that is in your expertise, I will follow through with it. And that's the only thing that got me back was because, and she's not here, she lives in Florida. We're in Georgia. But she spent her hours putting together a plan for me that I was like, now I need to respect that. And that's the only reason I've been able to keep up with it. So I totally agree that sometimes you just need that little extra responsibility factor coming from somebody else to maintain.
And, I don't know, it's a little different with friends and stuff. Like, I don't know if you paid your friend to write that or if she just wrote it for you.
Wrote it for me. Bless her.
I love her. She's so sweet.
I know. We do tradesies though. I help her. I see her son as a patient. So it's service.
So
yeah.
Because I was gonna say, for you, you're such a good human that you do care just about her time and effort that it took to write that. But I do think a lot of people, they do need that. They need to spend $1 to like really commit. And I have seen that time and time again. My husband has probably watched it happen, at least 10 times now over the years where, even if it is like kind of a friend, like someone that like I've known and they just really can't afford me, but they really need my help. And I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. Just if you can pay anything, cool. But if you can't, totally fine. So maybe they'll pay like $50 just, because that's all they can. I'm doing charity work. I love it. I'm happy to help, but they don't do it because they didn't pay enough. And then they end up, oh my gosh, this has happened multiple times. They end up being like, hey, I found this online coach. I think I'm going to end up, using now because I just can't stick to your plan. And I'm going to spend $1,000 for this online coach. Do they look good? And I'm like, that is a slap in the face, first of all. Second of all, it takes you to spend $1,000 to like, versus a free plan. But it's true. It's true. And I'm the same way with other things, right? I'm the exact same way. I really need to spend money on certain things I don't want to do to be consistent. So I totally get it. And I feel for people when they just really don't want to show up. So that's why I say, find the friend that can keep you accountable, pay good money, don't be scammed. I feel like there's a lot of scammers too, like people that literally charge $1,000 for coaching for a month fitness program and coaching. But I'm like, good for them. That's awesome. Like that's what their time is worth. And hopefully they're really good and worth it. But I don't think you need to spend that much a month personally. It'd be great if everyone paid me $1,000, but it's unnecessary. So basically that's my answer is you got to find deeper motivation. You can like, it's something to work towards like long term, not just like lose, 10 pounds. You also need to find the discipline muscle that we all have living inside us that my mom and I were just talking about this. My discipline muscle is lacking for cleanliness in the house. I hate picking up. I hate deep cleaning. I hate it. I hate it, hate it, hate it. But I need a clean house, right? To survive and have it like a clear mental state. Cause you look around at the mess and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going insane. So we were talking about that where other people lack the discipline muscle for working out. So that's the other thing. Last thing I'm going to say is really finding something that you love, which, all day I'm going to say that I love strength training the most. I think everyone, if they have a physique goal, even if they're scared that they're going to get bulky, they're most likely not unless they're eating like an a-hole. So, they will benefit from strength training and they're scared, but I'm like, seriously, do it. And then I'm always like, you always, say that I look nice, but yeah, and I strength train and I lift heavy. So like, why do you think you're going to end up looking like the Hulk, but I don't? Like, that doesn't make sense. So I'm a preacher, in strength training. I love the idea of walking because it's low intensity exercise. It's really good for the nervous system. But, if you really don't like weightlifting, cool. If you just really love bar or whatever it is, cool. Do it. I love bar too, honestly. I love it all. I don't have enough time in the day.
Okay, since you love it all, are you still doing cycling? Because I can't listen to new songs without figuring out, is this a climb song? Is this a ride song? Is how can what's my BPM? So I have a background of I call myself a psychotherapist. So before COVID hit, like CYCO, psychotherapist, because
I got that one.
killing them at it. So right before the world shut down in 2020, I was personal training and doing group fitness and coaching. And I was doing, no lie, I don't know how I'm still alive, because I did 20 classes a week and I'm riding 20 miles in a class.
Wait. You did not do 20 classes in a week.
That is wild.
And I was out and I was exhausted and my body wasn't responding like it needed to with all the stuff that was going on with the Lyme and the lupus and all the fun stuff. So in 2020, when the world shut down, I slept for, like, I lived in my parents and just slept for a year because our house was under construction and mold and kind of all that. But I total burnout, total cortisol. But I can't listen to music now without building it into a playlist.
Trust me, I feel the same way. And look, I have my Peloton bike right here next to me. So no, I love to spin, but I don't. Hang on. Oh, he wants to be on the camera. I love to spin, but I don't have a lot of time. It's not something that I can do with like my kids around because they're gonna tear this room apart. So I was just telling my husband today, I wish I got time to do it more, but I just don't. So to me, walking is the most tangible as a mom, right? Like as long as your kid is cool in a stroller, which I train mine to be cool in a stroller. The second they're born, we're getting them used to the stroller, right? Like what's not to like? You get to look up at the trees, like the fresh air. But some kids scream, and I get that, and I've heard that reason before, because it is a reason. If your kid is absolutely going to be miserable in the stroller, that's not a mental health walk for you. That's stressful. So, but I always say to try, and especially if you can, the second you have your kid, like I said, get them out there, get them used to it. Give them a snack, when they're old enough, like make them happy so that's your hour. I make it an hour, and I like to just listen to a podcast and zen out, or listen to the birds if it's a nice day. To me, that is the most tangible, right, for a mom. And then if you can still squeeze in something else with your kids around, do it. I try really hard too. I just posted a reel about that, like working out as a family. It doesn't happen all the time because it's not ideal, right? It's not like Scarlett pooped in the middle of the workout. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, she poops a lot. He's usually pretty chill, but when Scarlett was a baby, she was not chill. Probably because she got sucked up from a vacuum. So she came into the world, just a little traumatized, and she was a very unhappy baby. So I would try to like work out in our home gym with her and the little bouncer. Absolutely not. Like it had to be a baby weighted workout or nothing. So, every kid's different, but I would just say, as far as like mom hacks, definitely try to baby weighted workout, put them in the carrier or hold them. Try to see if they'll just lay and do some tummy time, while you do your own tummy time, right? For 10 minutes, just bang out some push-ups and some core work. Like do what you can.
I think people sleep on the fact that just 5 to 10 minutes can make a difference. Like I think so many women are like, well, what's it going to do? It's not going to do anything. And it's like, if you just switch your mentality to be like, well, that 5 minutes is 5 minutes more than you not doing those 5 minutes. That really can add up.
Yeah. Well, what is that? I just read it again, and I'm forgetting how many hours it is or something. Hang on. I'm gonna mess this up, but hopefully you guys know, and you can like bail me out of jail here. It's
an hour a day is 4% of your week.
Well, it's the exact same like concept. Something about like 18 minutes a day, or like something like that, where it's not a lot, but if you do it every day, you like become an expert at it, right? So I totally agree with that. And like, in the last episode we talked all about pelvic floor and deep core. That makes such a difference in, as I said, the way your physique looks, right? Like you literally will carry yourself better. You will look skinnier if that is your goal. And even if it's not, you just will, because your deep core will be so strong, right? So that takes literally no time at all. If you did 5 minutes a day of deep core and pelvic floor work, you'd probably have a better sex life. You'd probably be able to run and jump and cough and sneeze, without and laugh without peeing yourself, right? You might not have any low back pain anymore. You would definitely just be stronger in your general life, and that's 5 minutes a day. So it doesn't have to be that hard.
Absolutely.
So I've got a question. Now that we have a milkful baby and we know his preferred beverage of choice, what is Mama's preferred beverage of choice in her morning cup?
Cheers. This is my Stanley cup, first of all, which I am is this inappropriate to say? I'm a slut for Stanley. I'm sorry if it's inappropriate, but you can cut that out. I'm a slut for Stanley cups. I do love them. I don't like the knockoffs. What do you call them? Dupes. I don't like the dupes. I like the Stanley cup. It's just the best. It's like $50, but you know what? It's fine. I really need to start making commission off it because all of my in-person clients have them now. And I'm joking, obviously, but if someone comes in and they bring in like their Hydro Flask, I'm like, what is that?
Leave that at the door.
Yeah, I'm like, do you see the other cups here? Like, you're not cool if you don't have the Stanley.
Stanley, if you're looking for ad spots, there's now 2 podcasts that you could be an ad spot.
Right.
So.
Hey, Stanley, I love you.
Stanley.
So I'm always drinking out of my Stanley cup. And so I do, as far as like coffee or something, I freaking love coffee, but caffeine doesn't love me. And I'm sure you guys are more knowledgeable on this than I am, but I've done some deep dives on like why I'm caffeine sensitive. So I am currently very caffeine sensitive and I avoid it like the plague, but I'll drink decaf. So if I'm having coffee, it has to be iced and it's decaf and it's an organic blend. And I'll do like 2 tablespoons of a creamer, like a Califia creamer or something. But to be honest, I really want to start making my own coffee creamer. So I saved a recipe and I'll report back. But it's like it went kind of viral, like the pumpkin spice creamer, with like heavy cream and whatever, pumpkin spice seasoning. So I will report back how I like that. I'm going to try that soon. And then collagen. There has to be 2 scoops of collagen.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah, I like collagen in my brewed tea at home. What's in your cup today? Uh-oh, she made a face. I want to know what's in her cup now.
I have a cold brew concentrate. So it's like an organic cold brew concentrate that you dilute with water and just ice, and then probably like maybe a tablespoon and a half of almond milk creamer. And that's it.
Yum. What's in your cup?
I have an oat milk chai today.
Like, she's always fancy. I'm like, I poured something out of my fridge, and then she comes and she's like, I have an organic white peach tea with a splash of ginger.
That's over there. That's in my other thing.
I would love to be fancy like that. Do you guys like matcha?
Sometimes.
It has to be sweetened. I can't do it.
It's too bitter for me. It has to be like naturally sweetened, but
yeah.
Yes, if it's good.
I don't know what's in matcha. Once again, you guys probably know more than I do on this, but
ground up green tea, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah. But what's the properties? I don't even know what the properties are in green tea, like the vitamins and minerals.
Antioxidants.
Antioxidants, yeah.
When I'm pregnant, I crave matcha. Like crave. Because in a normal setting, I'm not really going out of my way, right? Yeah. When I'm pregnant, I need it like every day. So
interesting.
I don't know. It's weird. Do you have any cravings this pregnancy? Sorry, side tangent.
Not really. I mean, at the beginning, the first couple months, what?
Cream cheese and pretzels.
Okay.
So she normally doesn't eat cream cheese. So
I normally don't have dairy ever, and cream cheese, and I don't eat gluten. So gluten-free pretzels, dipping them in cream cheese has been my jam.
What brand of gluten-free?
What?
What brand of gluten-free pretzels?
The flat ones. What are they? We have them right over there. They're the flat ones, and they come in a white bag with blue stripes.
They're like the pretzel chips.
Yeah, they're like pretzel chips.
Snack Factory makes those, I think.
Is it
Snack Factory? And then there's another one that is grain free that I brought you last time that I get from BJ's.
Those were good too.
And those
there's
are like
a brand I can't think of the brand that I eat, but it is the best brand in the world. It's gluten free. So you probably know of it, but I will send it to you.
What color is the bag?
The last time I bought them was for a road trip, and it's been a while, but they're like at Fresh Market and Whole Foods, but I can't even think what the bag looks like. I think it's white with like blue.
Okay, I think it might
Yeah,
be.
and they're flat.
Are they flat or round? No.
There's like there's different kinds. There's sticks, there's, normal pretzel shape.
Because for the kids, I just get like cauliflower ones.
They're not the same though.
They're not the same. They think they are, and we'll keep our
Right.
secret, but they are not the same.
That's what I was just telling my mother-in-law about Scarlett. I'm like, she thinks her, Simple Milk Pumpkin Muffin is the sweetest thing in the world.
I don't let her think that way.
Yeah, she will think that hopefully forever. Anyway, I'm sorry, tangent.
No worries. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Most people don't realize the connection between the immune and digestive systems. In fact, 70 to 80% of your immune system lives in your gut. That's why it's so important to protect yourself daily. Stellar Biotics are pioneers in immune and gut health with 20 plus years of science behind their metabiotic and probiotic supplements. They are all natural, proven safe and effective for everyone in your family, children, nursing mothers, and even pets. I trust them for my family's immune and gut health support, and I hope you consider them for your family too. Learn more at stellarbiotics.com and use coupon code DrCC10 to get 10% off your purchase today. Okay, so getting back on track from our cup.
We gotta know what's in the cup. We have to know. I like to know. We can't yuck someone's yum of whatever's in their cup. They get their cup.
So let's say that you have a client, a woman who is neither postpartum nor prenatal, like just maybe has kids, maybe doesn't. What are some of your biggest tips for sustaining their health goals and or achieving their health goals? So let's say their health goals are fat loss and muscle gain. Like, what is your system that you generalize, because otherwise they need to become a client of yours, obviously, but generalize what's kind of your train of thought as to when that woman approaches you, like where your brain is going.
So I feel like you're going to really appreciate this answer. And I'm not just saying this like, to suck up to you or like to impress you. So my new thing is like in the last, I would say I've been doing this for maybe 3 years that I've been saying this, but now it's been more so like this is literally the first thing I'm saying to people. I literally go, hey, like, they fill out the questionnaire. If there's anything on there, because I ask them like about symptoms, like, do you have digestive issues? Like I ask them like more intensive like health questions too. I just like to get a full picture, and I'll literally be like, if they're saying they have like really painful periods and they, have a lot of bloating and gas and indigestion, or they have really bad anxiety or depression or whatever it is, I will usually say, I would really consider looking at like going to see a functional medicine practitioner, someone that knows more than I do, that can actually like, not saying that you can't achieve your goals without them. But I've just seen time and time again, you guys, like literally, I was just talking to my husband about this the other day. He's like, you just have special case clients. And I'm like, no, all of these women, I swear, have deeper issues. And that's why I'm like as passionate as I am about like functional health, because I have seen so many times where someone will like lose no weight. They'll lose literally no weight, and it's been like a year of them, and and my husband will say, well, they're lying to you about what they eat. No, they're not. And I don't put them on like, I'm not giving them 1,200 calories, like that is absolutely heinous. So I'm trying to give them like an appropriate amount based on their activity level and where they find like a true maintenance. It's usually no less than like 1,700 calories. Okay, it just depends, it's totally specific to the person, but like I know that they're eating healthfully. I know that everything else in their life is really top notch, and they're training 4 or 5 days a week. They are not losing weight, and they have all these other symptoms going on. I like beg them to go see someone, and I have referrals to people in our area that I always send them to, but that's usually when they start to see results. So to me, that is now like truly my first course of action. If everything they're kind of saying in the questionnaire lines up with like there might be something else going on that is affecting their health. Do you guys see that like when you're in your practice, Cece?
I mean, health is so multifaceted. It's puzzle pieces, and yes, I have patients who come to me who have that same story, who are like, listen, I was a pro athlete and my body is used to training X amount of hours per week. I haven't changed how I've eaten, and I gained 15 pounds and I cannot lose it. My body shape is changing. And It's because hormones are off. It's because thyroid function is off. It's because there's other kind of underlying infections that are going on that alter our cortisol. And if our cortisol is too high, then hey, we're going to gain weight and retain
Right.
sugar. And it's so multifaceted that you can be doing everything right in daily life and not seeing results because of some deeper health issue going on. 100%.
So
Unfortunately.
overtraining and under eating does not solve the problem.
No.
It does not. That math just never adds up ever.
Exactly. I like that was a good way of summarizing it. It's absolutely true. And it frustrates me to no end when my client will hire me and I'll be explaining that to them, like, oh, I actually think you're doing too much, we need to cut back, or I think you're under eating, we need to be eating more. They do not want, like, they want nothing to do with that. And it makes me sad. But then I'm also like, you have to trust me to some degree. If you're going to hire me, you have to trust me. I literally will say that. I go, I'm not trying to make you fat. Do you think I'm trying to sabotage your goals? Like, what do you, I'm not suggesting this like for no reason. So it's really hard to get people to cut back on training and to eat more, or to eat, more of the right things. Like if they really love like diet food, like there's a lot of people, right, that just love his baby's so loud. That just love, like eating the protein bars all day and like the sugar-free stuff. And I'm like, please, like eat something else, eat something real.
Yeah, this is a really good point. I think because again, society was convenience, but society also has created like a million and two fads when it comes to diet. So for
Yeah.
your clients, how do you navigate someone who has been kind of trained to want to do those fads, or like you mentioned earlier, like the 30-day fast or whole 30 or whatever, where it's like an intense 30 days, but it's not real life because you can't sustain it. Like, what are your tips for those clients to maintain a good nutritional plan
Yeah.
without all the fads and the craziness around it?
Well, usually if someone comes to me and they say like they're just telling me, they're not asking, they'll be like, I decided I'm gonna start doing keto. I found that like it's met with resistance for like on their end if I immediately start bashing keto, because it does, it can work for some people. And for me to like go in with that attitude, it's a psychology thing. So like I try really hard now not to just be like, it's really stupid and like you're gonna gain it all back. Like I could say all that, or I could say it's bad for your health. Like, but I've been really trying the last few years to not do that. And then I find I'll usually like just make some mild suggestions. I might even just be like, oh, that's awesome. Like I'm so proud of you. Like how have you been feeling on it? Good for you for, committing to something. And then I might just text them like later and be like, hey, like was just thinking, just, pay attention for these like health markers, like if, whatever it is, like you can't sleep anymore, or, anyway, there's a lot of things that could be going wrong, right? If they're like in a really restricted diet. But I'll be like, just pay attention for those, it could be a good indicator we need to like eat more food or eat more protein and carbs. And then I'll be like, and let me know if you need any help at all. I'm always here because, I really believe in like the way that I do things. And eventually, usually they won't see results and they'll end up coming to me anyway. So my biggest thing I always talk about is, and it's so trendy. So I feel like, I feel like I'm just copying everyone's trend, but it's really true. And I've been saying this much longer, is protein, right? I love that it's trendy because I think it's really beneficial. It's unlike the other trends. So this is really, really good. So I'm happy it's a trend. So I'm always trying to get people to eat at least 0.75 grams per pound of their ideal body weight. So if they weigh 200 pounds and they want to weigh 150, they want to aim for 150 grams a day. And a lot of people that I train also have had like a funky relationship with food in the past. So it's always kind of, they're scared like to track anything.
Yes.
And I feel bad because I'm like, I get it. And I'm not trying to make, you be triggered at all or have something come back up for you. So it's really hard to get them to, he's trying to talk. It's really hard to get them to even like track their protein, but I just try to like get them to change their mindset around it. Like I'm not asking you to track everything. I'm literally just asking you to figure out, weigh your food for like 1 week, and figure out how much protein you're eating in a day. Like,
and that is a huge learning curve for people, because like I know for me, even as an athlete, like I always ate in our house growing up, we ate really well. Like I didn't even have, I did not eat fast food ever growing up. Like my mom cooked all our meals. Yes. And I had Arby's like twice randomly, like their curly fries, and that was it. Like we didn't grow up like that. My mom was very, very health food conscious and works out like crazy still.
Awesome.
So it's always been a part of my life, but I would still eat kind of come college. I would eat just like a college kid and whatever I wanted. And even as an athlete in college, like I look back now, I'm like, wow, I could have been so much better even than I was if I just paid attention to the nutrients, because I just wasn't eating enough. And it wasn't until after college that the definition in my body started changing. The workouts didn't change, but the definition did, because I was eating 140 grams of protein and 90 grams of fats and still, 100 grams or something of carbs. And we don't think about this. Carbs are so easy to get in the day. But protein, like we really don't understand how much 140 grams of protein is and how that can benefit our body. And so at the beginning, I would end up like at the end of the night, I'd be like, oh my God, babe, I have 40 grams of protein left. And I would sit with like a huge bowl of egg whites.
Yes.
Like just to get it in.
I ate so many egg whites. I made myself allergic to egg whites.
I believe it. But it's like, you have to, and you have to count your macros and do all that at the beginning. But then once you understand like proportions and what, ish kind of what you're getting in terms of grams, then you don't need to count that stuff anymore. But it's just a huge learning curve, I think, for a lot of people to understand really, if you're looking for those results, how much nutrients your body really needs.
And weighing it and seeing what it is, you don't really know what, like a serving of steak or a serving of chicken or eggs or whatever it is. Like if you're not weighing it and you don't know how much you should be eating, or on the transverse side of overeating on the carbs, or like, hey, did you know that cereal, a serving of just traditional like Cheerios is like a third of a cup? Like who eats a third of a cup? No one eat like a cup,
oh my gosh,
or a cup and a half,
or like a whole freaking bowl.
Right. So there's all, and
That's
it's
a really good
awareness. Right. And then one of the things that when I was, and everybody would come and they were like, I want to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Okay. Do you want to do this with a surgeon or without a surgeon? I have openings this afternoon. Let's go cut off your leg. And they're like, well, no, I don't want to do that. And I said, well, it's going to take more than 30 days for you to adjust your lifestyle and have your lifestyle. And it takes more than 30 days, but we're going to, like you say all the time, getting those building blocks and building out the little pieces. But if you want to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, you want to do it with a surgeon or without, because we can make that happen. Surgeon's going to be a whole lot more expensive. I'm cheap. It's easy. I mean, I'm going to cut it off and send you home. And then you've lost 30 pounds instantly. And they're like,
I'm
no,
going to steal that from you.
Go for it.
That's so perfect. Because I like adding, truly, I think so much of it is, it's like I was saying, like a psychology, I'm trying to say it, psychological approach, like how I approach my clients, because I've found time and time again, like they'll kind of just take it a little personally, or they'll be defensive about it because they've already taken probably, weeks of like researching this. Like they saw someone else do it, right? Someone got good results, but then they're like diving in deep. They're like, already trying to figure out they got to buy the keto strips, right? To know if they're actually in ketosis. Like they've done all this research without asking me, which is, totally fine. But then when they bring it up to me and I'm like discounting it immediately, they're like, wait, no, like I'm already a believer in it, So I do think I like a little bit of a humor in the approach first and foremost with something like that. Or, if they come to me saying they want to lose the 30 pounds in 30 days and they're set on it and that's why they're hiring me. And then, just add some humor to it first before you let them down. Uh-oh, hang on. Baby's stuck on the microphone.
It's guaranteed you'll lose 30 days by doing what you want without the help of a professional.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why we went and took all the classes and did all the things and have the experience. Like I don't coach anymore, but if someone were to come to me, I'm like, okay, well, you got to put your money where your mouth is, because I'm not doing this for my own self. Like I'm doing this to help you. And if you're not going to do it, then like we said before, like I don't want to waste my time, but I don't want you to waste your time and effort and get frustrated. Like you can do the things and follow the steps, but this is style. This is not a diet. This is a lifestyle, and the lifestyle that works is a lifestyle that you'll do. So if you want to be lazy on the couch and tired and frustrated and all those things, then that's the lifestyle that you're choosing, because there are things that have to happen on both sides.
Right. And
I love that.
It's so complicated because some people in that moment would be so motivated by it and be like, no, I want to be this, like, let's go, give me a plan to sustain. And then other people, it could take them a year past the point that you had that conversation to be motivated enough to make that change. And some people, they feel like they are at the upfront, and then they get kind of stuck in their old habits very, very quickly because someone in their family hasn't changed, or their spouse hasn't
Yeah.
changed, or their
Yeah.
kids are asking for, other foods that they were eating before. And there's so many just different moving pieces. I think it makes it really challenging in today's world for certain humans to kind of start that and sustain it. But do you ever, kind of random side note, do you ever incorporate, like, talking about just balance and sustainability, do you ever incorporate like the importance of yourself? It's like something I stress to patients is that it's okay to be selfish. Like it's not truly being selfish if you are just trying to take care of yourself, because how do you take care of other humans or a spouse or dogs or whoever if you are not taking care of yourself? Is that something that you talk about with your clients?
Yeah, I love that for mamas especially. I feel like they are just the worst at like putting everyone before them. It's so bad. And I feel so much guilt when I do like literally anything. It's so stupid. Toxic trait, right? And I'm like, I need to stop feeling guilty. So I mean, like, I'm preaching to the choir when I say it to other people, but I was telling Alex when I was pregnant, even with my second, I just didn't have the time anymore, or the energy, right? Like third trimester energy for like my usual cardio. Like doing spin once or twice a week that was such an endorphin boost for me. So I started just feeling kind of like mentally off, not depressed, but just like I didn't feel like myself, and I didn't like it. And I was like, oh my God, I think it's because I haven't made that time that I used to make for spin. And I've been putting in I've been giving a lot of excuses for why I'm not doing that. So then I did like a 30 or 20 minute little, Peloton session. I felt so good. And then I got to be a better mom the rest of the day because I was in a good mood, and then I was a better wife, right? And I was a better trainer. So I definitely love that message. And I do think that's really important. Even like, hang on.
It's okay.
Baby boy.
Like happy people don't kill people. What do you mean she's happy? She's a fitness instructor, so her endorphins are really high, and happy people just don't kill people. She didn't do it. Brooke did not do it. Okay, I'm glad y'all both got that reference. Thank you.
Hang on, let me see if I can. Oh yeah, we're good.
No, you're totally fine. So
He's
for those
now.
that are listening, Fake's getting his what's good out of his cup.
He's fixing that boob juice.
He's gonna be milk drunk in a minute.
He will be milk drunk. But basically to finish the original question of like, what someone needs to do to see results is I definitely think, sorry, you're gonna hear a lot of grunting.
Totally fine.
It sounds like he's lifting weights. You okay, buddy? You're okay. I'll see if I can get him to calm down before I answer the question. Sorry, but I have to cut it out. It's okay. Mom life.
You're totally fine, girl.
If I can move the mic away from him.
Okay.
We can't really hear it.
Just do it. Background noise is fine. He's worth it.
So in addition to protein and getting enough, right? I think that's number one, because I will tell my clients, you're literally wasting your money and time coming to me for strength training if you're not going to eat enough food and eat enough protein, right? Food too. So, because I do think some people, they'll be like, okay, cool, but I'm hitting my protein goal. I'm eating 120 grams a day, but then they're eating 1,100 calories. 1,100 calories. Oh my gosh. Like, are you alive? Like, what's going on? So that's important too. Eating enough, because you want to gain muscle. It doesn't mean you have to like be in a bulk forever. I have never done like a bulk and a cut, and like I've never done that personally. Some clients definitely do that, and I've given it to clients who like have really aggressive goals, but I've just always personally just pushed myself with weights in the gym, right? Always working on progressive overload, and I've always eaten enough. I'm pretty much always at maintenance, right? And I'm pretty much always pushing myself in the gym and eating enough protein.
Yeah, and you want to eat enough to fuel your body to do what you're asking it to do, and you want it to respond in the way that you want it to respond. And if you're not eating enough, it's not gonna do it.
That's exactly right. And it's scary once again, because people, are trained to think that they need to, like, you do not need to always be in a deficit. And these people, oh my gosh, like people are in a deficit their entire lives. their entire lives because they think that they can't eat more. And it's sickening to me. It makes me so sad. And then if I tell people, I don't track my calories, but like I know about, how much I'm eating just based off knowledge. I'm like, oh, I'm probably eating at least 2,000 calories a day when I'm nursing, way more. And the people are shocked. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah. And I'm 5'1", you guys. I am 5'1". If I was 6 feet tall, which some of my clients had been like 5'11", and I found out they're, oh my gosh, really? You're that tall? Wow, girl, you would be thinking I look like a shrimp. I would just stood next to a really tall person, on our trip. And I was like mystified by her. I'm like, what's it like seeing over everyone's heads?
Hair's a little bit freer up here. No, you're tall enough your feet touch the ground. That's what I tell everybody. If you stand up and your feet don't touch the ground, then you have a problem, but you're tall enough.
So it means you're a fairy. But yeah, oh, he burped. Now he's happy. I definitely feel like, people get shocked when I tell them how much I eat. And I'm like, if you are 5'11" and eating 1,200 calories a day, like good luck getting to any of your goals. So that's the other piece, eating enough food. And it takes, knowledge to get there. Unfortunately, it is helpful if you track for like a week. So usually I can convince my clients to track for a week, and that does mean weighing food. And you have to learn how to do that too. Like some people literally don't even know how to weigh their food, which is like, that's good, because we don't need to be weighing our food all the time. But just for that week, figuring it out, how to properly measure, properly weigh, so we can get an idea, right, of where you're at. Then from there, let's say because I like to take people's average calories. So we'll take their average calories for, the week, and usually it's like 1,300. And I'm like, okay. Then I go through the whole spiel. I'm like, we gotta try to eat more, okay? And so we'll slowly just increase. And some people call it like a reverse diet. I just kind of go, I don't want people tracking a lot. So I try really hard to just make it more of like an intuitive thing. Like once we kind of figure out, like what you eat in a day. Okay, so let's just add in, 2 eggs to the avocado toast, right? Like very simple tweaks where I know how much that's going to be, but they don't have to think about it. I think that seems to be the most healthy approach for them mentally. And some people can track and they're fine. I could totally track and be fine. Personally, it's just my personality. I'm a hot mess. So I'm type B, I don't get like obsessive with things. I'm more like I said, eating the spoonfuls of peanut butter when I'm not supposed to, like in a bikini competition, because it's just, to me, it's not a big deal. But I totally, totally respect people that can't track. And that's why I think there's better ways to do it anyway, because is tracking sustainable for the rest of your life? No.
And what I found, I love tracking, but what I found was the more kids that I had, I literally did not have time to like open my phone, put in how many grams that was, weigh it, or to take a picture. Like there's awesome where you can take a photo of the barcode of that protein shake. And I'm like, even that is so easy, but I found myself in a space in life where I couldn't even do that. And I would try to like log in my brain, okay, I had this, and this for breakfast. I'll log it later. And then later would come and I'd forget how much, and then I'd make it up. And I'm just like, that was where logging got to be an issue for me, was just the more kids I had.
Yeah. But your plate's supposed to look like.
But by that point, right.
It becomes second nature.
Exactly. And you do like a rough math in your head and you're like, great, like that's awesome. I hit my protein goal for the day roughly, but it's a learning curve for sure.
That's exactly right. I definitely think when it starts to stress you out to track, then that's maybe a good time to stop. I guess just the last little piece of that is, like I said, if you're lifting, I would say at least 3 times a week, ideally. If it's 3 times a week, I would probably give you 3 total body days, or you could do like, for enough volume, you could do like an upper day, a lower day, but they're like, you're really hammering those muscles, right? Because you're more focused and isolated. So an upper day, lower day, and then a total body day. And that way you're hitting all the muscles at least 2 to 3 times a week. So if you're doing that and you're, I love a step goal. I do. I think like at least 7,000 steps a day can be really helpful for people. We want that, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and which is very easy if you're a mother, holy cow, or a personal trainer, because you're shocked how much you're moving around like in a session. So that's always a bonus. But if you're doing all that, you're eating well, all that stuff, and you're not losing weight, and I would really recommend seeing someone that can dive into like in-depth lab work, right? And kind of figure out if there's something else going on.
So Savanna has all of her programs that she offers, which we will link below. So tell us again about Bump. What's it called? Bump Brigade. What is it called?
Bump Club.
Bump Club. Bump
I was
Club.
gonna try and then I said no. Don't do that, Cece.
So you can't, if you were in that season of pre or postpartum, definitely reach out to Savanna and get plugged to one of her on-demand programs. Also follow her on all the socials because she is so fun. So if you've enjoyed watching us and listening to us in these last 2 episodes, the party continues on social media, so don't miss out on us all there. But tell us about where our listeners can connect with you and about your programs.
So on Instagram, I'm Strength with Savanna, and there's no H at the end, so SAVANNA. And then same thing on TikTok. And then I'm also Bump Club Official on Instagram for like the pre-postnatal stuff. And yeah, the Bump Club programs are all on demand, like a Peloton class. So you'll follow along with me, but you don't have to. Like I also write it all out. So like if you do it once with me and you need to do it again, you don't have to follow along with me. You can blast your music, do whatever you want. And then it's prenatal is going to be first, second, and third trimesters. And then the postpartum one is 6 weeks long. And yeah, it's just like deep core and pelvic floor work.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
I'm going to be getting it for myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to. I'm so excited.
We'll post the link down below so you can get involved with Savanna too and support this new mama and baby.
And I'm totally going to post my progress too while I'm going through it.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yes. Women empowering women. Hey.
Hey.
Well, thank you, Savanna, so much. And the little munchkin also for joining us. I just love this conversation with you. It's been so fun.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for our whatever. Anna Kate's going to talk more intelligently than I am.
Oh, there's all kinds of new things coming up. So make sure that you're listening, liking, and subscribing and doing all the fun things on all the socials, not only for us, but also for Savanna as well. We appreciate the reviews, and Savanna has a podcast too, which we'll link below.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll be on Savannah's podcast. So
yeah, you will very soon.
So
all right.
Well,
thanks guys.
Until next time, let's discover together.
Hey Discoverer, let's discover more. Find episode link in today's show notes. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Discovery Doc. Connect with us on Facebook at The Discovery Doc. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Visit our website, thediscoverydoc.com. This podcast is produced by Soulpreneurs Association and powered by soulsoftware.co. Empowering your digital journey with innovative solutions.
The content provided in this podcast provides general information and discussions on various topics related to health, wellness, and medical advancements. However, it is essential to understand that the content provided in this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The hosts, guests, and contributors are individuals sharing their personal experiences, opinions, and knowledge in their respective fields. While they strive to provide accurate, up-to-date information, medical knowledge is constantly evolving, and the information presented in this podcast may not always reflect the most current research and medical guidelines. It is crucial to consult with a qualified healthcare professional or medical expert for specific medical concerns. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking medical treatment based on the information presented in this podcast. The Discovery Doc podcast encourages listeners to use their own judgment and discretion while implementing any suggestions, recommendations, or lifestyle changes discussed in this episode. Each individual's medical situation is unique and may work for one, may not be suitable or safe for another. The podcast hosts, guests, and contributors are not liable for any direct, indirect, consequential, or incidental damages or harm that may arise from listening or acting upon the information provided in this podcast. Listeners are responsible for their own health decisions and should exercise caution and seek professional guidance when necessary. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge that you have read, understood, and agreed to this medical disclaimer. If you have any questions or concerns about this medical disclaimer, please consult a qualified healthcare professional.